everybody, Kingsley Ma here, Director of RE/MAX of Western Canada. This is Carpool Interview Episode 4. And actually, I am in a different city altogether, as you can see with the thicker jacket, but still spotting the RE/MAX logo. The special guest today is John Carter, broker owner of RE/MAX of River City here in Edmonton. And the topic is how he develops younger agents when they're good to become great. So let's pick it up, have the conversation, and give you all some tips on it. All right, seatbelts on. Let's go pick up John. Hey, man.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
John, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Cold, chilly.
It's an Edmonton winter.
It's what, minus 22, I think, or something
I
like
don't
that?
think it's that bad. Minus 17 maybe.
So, yeah. Welcome to Carpool Interview.
All right.
You are our number 4 guest, or my number 4 guest, I guess.
Yeah, honored.
So, let's just talk a little bit about yourself first.
Sure.
And, what you do, and so that people get a better understanding of, who you are and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the broker of RE/MAX River City in Edmonton. We've got 3 locations, 2 in Edmonton and 1 in Beaumont. And we've got about 140 realtors now. Our brokerage has been around for 27 years, I think, now.
Oh, wow,
so
27 years.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment. And one of the fun things, I actually looked up how many other brokerages have been formed out of our office from
Right.
people that have been with us. There's actually 5 other brokerages that now exist outside of River City from people that were
Right.
had success with us. So I think that's a pretty big claim to fame too.
Awesome. So the topic of this interview, I guess, is more focused on the younger generations, younger generation in real estate.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. Let's be honest. There's a lot of them getting into the real estate market, either because of their friends or and just the age group. It's dominating.
Sure.
So I guess let's start off with what's their mindset. What are the younger generation real estate agent mindset is? When you're recruiting them or talking to them, what's the typical mindset of a younger generation?
Yeah, and I mean, the interesting thing is it's kind of, there is an age component to it, but I'm 39 now, and I started in real estate right out of university. I was real estate investing in university, and I wanted to be able to kind of control my own destiny. And I think that mentality exists the same today, where people see it as this great potential. It's a professional industry. It's exciting. I mean, there's things like HGTV and stuff that we see all the time that has people just love the idea of real estate.
Right.
And they may know people. That's often the case. A lot of the younger people we interview and meet with, they'll know somebody that's a realtor and has had great success, has had a very fruitful career, or at least it's appeared as such.
Right.
And so they see that potential.
Right. Well, actually, in fact, I think close to 70% of the younger generation, just in general, actually likes to have flexible hours in terms of what their workplace is and so forth.
Totally.
And I think about almost 55% of them likes to be business owners or self-employed.
Yep.
Right? And
well, entrepreneurial.
entrepreneurial. So it's real estate. Being a real estate agent is basically that, right?
Yep, 100%.
Gives them So let's talk a little. Getting into real estate is always not the easiest career to get into, because it's not a 9-to-5 job. You're not told to. You're not being told to what you're supposed to do and so forth. So what are the typical struggle? Say if you were coming into the industry, what are the typical struggles that they have to go through?
Yeah, so with that same excitement, I think kind of the expectation of it being easier than it appears is one of the biggest challenges for people. So they'll start out thinking they've got it all figured out. They know exactly how to work with clients. They know exactly how to, open a door and show properties and stuff. And they realize there's a lot more behind the scenes that happens that they need to learn. And a lot of it is, the eccentricities of just salesmanship and being an effective salesperson to understand the right verbiage, right? And how do you handle different objections when someone says, we have a friend in real estate as well that and they said they do it for a cheaper commission, right? How do you handle that? Well, you have to have responses like, who do you want selling and negotiating the price of your home? The person who's willing to cut their fee before they even start, or the professional RE/MAX realtor that has, you know, market share and brand behind them, and
more
training
tools.
and tools, and is going to get the job done. And oh, by the way, here's the market share that we have and the results we get for you. And so a lot of times it's that expectation management, I guess you'd say, is one of the challenges.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned market share a little bit, and Edmonton RE/MAX does have a very dominant market share.
Mm-hmm.
I think between I think there's like 18 surrounding 19 surrounding brokerages in the Edmonton market. You guys have about 41-42% market share.
Yeah.
Which is very significant, right? If you think about all the different other brands and companies offering different little service and so forth. But yeah, you're a big part of that contribution.
Yeah. I mean, our office did 2,450 or so transactions last year.
Yeah.
And single-handedly, our office was more market share than C21 combined as a
really?
entire franchise.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is one of those things. I mean, there's the mentality of most younger people starting in the industry is this is their career, right? So they want to align themselves where they're going to get the best training, have learn from the best, and be able to bring that level of professionalism, and they want to align with a solid brand, like a name they know.
Yes.
Right. It was actually a fun one. My business partner Shane, who you know, he was in Miami for a salsa conference recently, and they did very well.
They won.
Third-time champs. Yeah.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, wow.
So there was a lady there, and this couple they know from Italy, and they speak very little English, but they know them. They see them every year when they go. And so they were having a conversation back and forth, trying to piece together what little English they both knew.
Yeah.
And Shane's wife's a lawyer, and so they say, "What do you like? Work, job, okay?" And then he's like, "Lawyer, yeah." And then he says, "Realtor." Oh, they didn't know. And he's like real estate agent, like houses? No, they don't know. He says, "Well, RE/MAX." Oh, RE/MAX, yeah. And that's brand power right there, is you immediately associate with professionalism, and like, I know exactly what you do because of that association, right? I thought it was such a cool story.
I think in your brokerage there's a lot of younger agents that started with you guys, obviously, and now has done very well for themselves. And in fact, I see a lot of them winning awards every year, which which I find very interesting, right? Because that's what a lot of other brokerages want to see, their younger agents succeeding. So I guess my question then becomes, it's what do you guys specifically do in your brokerage that helps them from starting off or being just an average agent to a really good agent in an industry itself?
Yeah. So I mean, for starters too, we have everybody from literally 20, I think, year old to 68, I think, is our eldest agent.
Okay.
And so we have a wide variety, and it is a challenge kind of servicing each section of your career, right? Because everybody has different needs. And so what I find with the younger generation right now, the ones that are really succeeding are the ones that are aligning themselves with like mentors in the office.
Oh, okay.
And so they build up those relationships where they're learning from someone senior to them, and also getting referrals from them and collaborating with them, like helping them out with open houses, like doing that type of stuff where you really make yourself available. And the ones that do that are the ones that really exponentially grow much faster. They might align themselves with 4 or 5 different people where they just are like, "Hey, I'm open to help you, right? And I'm here to support you, and in turn learn from you."
Interesting point that you brought up is the mentoring, working together not only with your own mentor but also with the broker owners and other agents in the office. A lot of people think of getting into real estate as I'm my own boss. I do everything myself.
Totally.
And it's sometimes, maybe some companies are like that. But in a lot of companies that I talk to within the system itself, they actually have programs that allows agents to communicate with each other, and mastermind is one of the things that I know people do. It's you're in the business for yourself, but you're not doing it by yourself, right? Totally. That's the key here.
And I liked one of I think it was one of your messages about the idea of, with the Young Leaders Network that Remax is launching now, of
Right.
like reverse mentorship, because there really is that component of just adapting to technology and adapting to change quicker.
Right.
Like, the younger you are, the more used to change you are, right? I mean,
Exactly.
I have a 6-year younger than me brother, and I have a niece and nephew that are like 9 and 11. Well, like, my nephew could unlock iPhones when he was 4, you know, and I have to figure out still sometimes. I'm pretty tech savvy, but there's just so much change. So agents that have had their trusted, true way of getting business, we see it. I mean, I see it year to year where their business is dropping, and it's
Yeah.
because they're not interacting where the clients are.
At the end of the day, it's the relationship business. I mean, you can't just keep texting your client or never meet any of your clients and expect them to
Yeah.
build that trust, right?
Yeah, and there's examples. I mean, I sold a house in my career to someone moving from Lower Mainland, actually, to Edmonton, that I didn't meet them until possession day. I don't know why they didn't want to fly into town. They didn't. I viewed the homes for them. I
Yeah.
took photos of detailed things they wanted. They literally bought the house online, kind of, right?
Oh, wow.
But like, I'm not going to build a career on that. I'm not going to build
No,
my
you
book of
can't.
business of 80 plus transactions a year that our team was doing on relying on that, right?
Right.
It's the face to face. I mean, I tell this story to some of the younger realtors often. When one year I analyzed my business working with one of the coaches that I was working with at the time, and 80% of my business literally came from 5 people.
Really?
And it was one condo developer that I was doing a lot of project marketing for.
Right.
And if he referred me a client, that was a great referral, right? I'd sell 20, 30 units for them as opposed to just one transaction. And then I had one good friend, still a good friend, who he would do the odd deal. And then he also, that year he had done a project too, so I helped him with that sale. But then he also would refer me tons of people because there was a level of trust we had. And I supported his business too and some stuff he was doing. And I think that's a big thing that people either get or they don't get. And it's kind of irrelevant of age, but I find one of the challenges of younger people sometimes is that they're not invested in relationships. The younger agents that we see, the ones that I see doing really, really well, that's something they do quite well. Like, they're very organized. They'll leverage technology to use to further those relationships, but they don't rely on it. You know, the mistake I often see is one of the first things we do is say, get your database down, right? And so they'll get their database down, and then I'll say, great, so did you communicate to them all that you're now a realtor? Like, make that announcement, ask for, you know, if they have any real estate needs in the coming 6 months, and would they consider, giving you the opportunity to earn their business? Secondly, would they consider referring you? Would they feel comfortable referring you? They're like, well, I did a Facebook post and like a really good Instagram video, and it got a lot of hits on it.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't a conversation. Like, that's good.
That's good.
It's something, but that's not the end all be all.
No,
And
you gotta.
You have to. I always say you have to have a conversation. I don't care if that conversation is over text or over Messenger.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's on the phone. But you know, right now our theme for the year, and we're pushing out to all of our agents, is phone and video.
Phone and video.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
it.
Interesting.
The people that are winning, the agents that are doing the most volume, are putting together the most deals, are platinum and above, and took 15 vacations in the year, which was one of our agents, and she has a bunch of rentals. They pick up the phone. They pick up the phone to call their clients and do regular touch base every day. They have their weekly, daily, monthly kind of number of touches with clients, and they have a reason and a value add reason for calling. And they might end up texting back and forth or doing whatever, but they make that call.
I guess the one last question is that if there was one tip, I guess, you want to give for a younger agent, let's just say someone getting into the industry at this point, what would you, just one tip, what would you give to them?
The one tip I would say is find a mentor.
Okay.
I think you can't do it alone, and you can't try to reinvent the wheel either. It's it's really like learning from someone that resonates with you and matches your personality type, so that you're gonna, you know, we always say it has to match your personality so that you'll actually do it with consistency. Because every marketing strategy works, but they all won't get results if you don't do them with consistency.
Right.
So you have to find a mentor that will teach and train you, and that you can kind of model off of, get those few silos of business working for you and producing, and then go experiment. Then try out some crazy Facebook ad campaign or some this, that, the other thing, and see if it might work. Maybe you're onto something.
Right.
Get those core elements working first, and it starts with finding a mentor that can like teach you the roadmap, right?
Thanks, John. This is a carpool interview.
Yes.
So you have to sing. It's actually pretty interesting. It's not always easy to have interview a person and then make that person sing. So I don't know if you can sing or not, but you're doing it. So I'm pretty.
We'll try.
Yeah, I'm pretty forceful about these things. So let's get going.
All right.
Let's get this going.
Well, you're in Edmonton. You're in my house here. It's the it's the Winter City.
I'll do this.
Yeah. Red Bull Crashed Ice was in town, Edmonton, last year. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Come home, where you been? Where you been, Kingsley? You've been all over the place.
I've been all over the place.
Here's to this. You gotta stay in. You know where I live.
Hey.
Welcome to my house. Baby, take control now. They don't need to go down. Maybe need to go out. Welcome to my house. Baby, music too loud. Show me what you do now. No need to go out. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. These we don't know.